Hi, Heather from Hooked on Pickin' again. Sorry it's been a little bit since I've done a video, but I am surrounded by clothing. We just opened up clothing in a new category under Amazon FBA because we were running into the issue of not being able to find enough inventory. We're so far past fourth quarter that picking is getting a lot more difficult, and we've gotten a lot more strict on our sales rank, and so we pick a lot less than what we initially did before because we want to make sure that it sells. So we just opened up the category. We're brand new to it. One of the things that we did was we went on our Amazon seller account and filled out the application to open up the category and answered all the questions, and we were approved. And so we started selling clothing. When we scanned with our Amazon seller app, we were no longer restricted in the clothing category. So what are some of the things that we know about clothing so far? One of the things that we've come across is most of the clothing items that you see in front of you have absolutely no sales rank at all. When I scan it with my Amazon seller app, there's no sales rank. The reason for that, I'm not sure. But some of the things, it might be that not a lot of FBA sellers, so they don't have a sales rank. I'm not quite sure. But anyway, what we decided to do was when we first initially got opened up for clothing, we didn't go crazy. Not like what you see here where we've got clothing everywhere. We started with a test. We bought 23 items that we decided to try to sell on Amazon to make sure that we were all good to go before we went crazy purchasing items. And in the first week, out of those 23 items, 14 of them sold within a week. So they were gone very quickly. And so we were able to get things figured out. Okay, we know we can sell in clothing. And we picked things like Star Wars related, Batman related, because of the genre of the movies that are coming out right now. So one thing the reason why we try to do clothing is if you look at the stores, you walk into any store, how much square footage is designated for clothing? Usually a good 30 to 50% of that store is clothing, and there are many stores that are clothing only. And so that's why we decided we're going to open up the clothing category and see how well we can do. And so we have found that the competition has been very low because not everybody can open up clothing, and it's kind of difficult. You have to have a history with Amazon and go through their steps. So just give Amazon a call. They'll step you through how you need to get clothing opened up. So this is our haul from Kohls. Most of it is children's clothing. Most of the items that you see here, they look like seasonal items, but like a Christmas dress, but it's got short sleeves. And so we know that it's still doable as far as being worn now. And so most of the items are, we bought 90% off, 80 to 90% off. This one was $4. We were able to find multiples. The one thing that I want you to be aware of is when scanning clothing, I have found that I've been able to find the size small in the dress online and in the listings, but I couldn't find maybe another size. The mediums weren't listed, and so we didn't purchase any of those sizes. And so just be aware of that each individual size usually has its own separate listing. So make sure you scan everything, even if it looks like it's the same thing. Like this one here is a 4 toddler sweater. When I scanned the other sizes, they were not on the Amazon inventory list. So a listing has not been created. Now you can create a listing for that item. Sure, you can go ahead and do that. I just usually don't. So we have a few things that are kind of holiday seasonal. This obviously is a long sleeve shirt. These are like long sleeve pajamas. This is St. Patrick's Day. It's currently May of 2016. And so obviously St. Patrick's Day is already passed. So I'm not quite sure if I'm going to list it right away because I just couldn't pass up the price of being able to buy it for $2.40 for each one. And 90% off. It was originally sold for $24. And so I may just stick it in a tote and then come January throw it online so that it can be sold for St. Patrick's Day. And so as long as it doesn't have the year on it, like my first St. Patrick's Day 2016, I'm going to go ahead and maybe make the attempt to sell it next year. But clothing is a huge category that has just exploded for us. We've been able to do really, really well. And again, the sales rank usually doesn't exist. All 14 of those items that we sold, I think all but one did not have a sales rank at all, and they sold within a week's time. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope that you've learned something. And also, if you've been selling clothing for a while online, please pass your advice along to me. I'd be glad to know. And if we find out new information, we'll be glad to pass it on to you as quickly as we figure it out. So anyway, I hope this helps. When you're finding difficulty finding inventory, try opening up those new categories. And remember, in the end, Jesus wins.